So you remember when men got microphones just like this and started podcasts and started telling things from their experience? We were told to shut up. We were told, I wish y'all would just take your business elsewhere. You all talk too much about our business. But it's funny. There were people who were listening to this that weren't taking the advice. The very same people that told us we shouldn't have podcast mics. And now they have adopted a lot of the same talking points that we have been talking about for years now. It's cool when you do it. It's a problem when I do it. She says, stop asking women over 40 why they are still single, because this is the dating pool.
So if you're dating over 40 and someone asks you, why are you still single? Show them this. I'm going to break down the dating pool for you. We have all the men. Need to take away the ones
walnuts
that are married.
Okay.
Aren't age appropriate because we are over 40. That are gay.
Oh, of course you got to take those away, right? Broke? Oh, you took a little bit.
Emotionally unavailable.
Emotionally.
The ones that still have drama with their ex. We're going to take away the ones that are perpetual bachelors. Okay? Then we have the ones that don't know what they want. The ones that love bomb you. And then, all right, so this is what we have. So we want someone who's attractive. 5'10", so I need someone over 5'8". So a few people who decide they still want to smoke cigarettes, they have to meet the people who don't want any more children. And this is what I'm left with. However, we need to take this then. They're not all in my area. We need to then spread these people around the world. This is what we're dealing with. Any questions?
So it's interesting. She makes a good case, but this is somehow familiar to what someone has said before. Someone that they said was misogynistic. Someone that they said just didn't understand what the plight of the modern woman was. Can you guess in the comments? I don't know. There's several right answers. Let's just say that. But let's just think about the fact that she is now broken down and come to the conclusion that the group of men that she's selecting from are rare. And what does that mean? The market is highly competitive for those type of men. That means as a woman in her 40s, over 40 here, you're going to have to make some concessions. You're going to have to understand. And first off, this conversation is not necessarily for the ladies over 40 because you're eliminating men and you're saying you don't have standards because a lot of people in the comments are confused about what standards are and what people are doing in the dating market as opposed to standards. All those things, like her not wanting them to be under 5'8", her not wanting them to be broke. Yeah. You might want to make some concessions. Think about it. When you know the dating pool is small, if you can physically represent that small dating pool and put it into your hand and then they're scattered across the room, with rarity comes value. So that means you're going to have to work harder. That means you're going to have to be more competitive. That means those men have a lot of different options that you're not considering because for some reason, a lot of women have the default position that men are inherently less than, and any man that thinks they're above them, you remember what they called them? They called them sassy. You'll see in the comments that a lot of women are defaulting to that position. They're like, oh, well, sis, you forgot about, you need to make that pile of gay men even more. Just because you're not getting what you want on the dating market doesn't mean every man is gay. I'm just going to say, sure, there is an LGBT community and those people exist. There are some people that are open about it. There are some people that are lying about it, but you're not going to use that as an excuse to why you're not getting what you want. You're dealing with an elite group of men and you're treating them as if they're supposed to do you a favor, especially when you break out the map and you think about the fact that they now have access to the entire globe as well. And there might be some far better options out there. A lot less attitude and agreeable women out there that might actually value that man and take him seriously, because then you've got the alternative. You've got some women who've given up entirely and they've decided since they can't find their ideal match that they're just going to settle. And they always talk about this relationship they wanted to have that their grandmother had. But what you don't realize is that your grandfather wasn't in that elite group. Your grandfather was a plumber. Your grandfather cut down trees for a living. And you're sitting here overlooking every plumber and every guy that cuts down trees in the 21st century. And you expect to have what your grandmother had. It's a shame. It's a shame that men have been telling you this and telling you this and telling you this, and you just didn't want to listen. And you're still not listening because now you've made an excuse for why the situation is the way it is. And you want sympathy for that. You want us to be like, oh, wow, yeah, I get it now. You're really up shit's creek. No, you've been up shit's creek, and you need to do something if you want to change your situation. Otherwise, hang it up. Hang it up. But yeah, I think it was interesting. I think it's a great opportunity here for the ones that are willing to understand, the ones that are at least like attempting to make some type of real adjustment here, because it's crunch time. And this lady being over 40, you've had that man several times in your presence, and you probably messed it up. You probably did. You disqualified him for something simple that could have been rectified. Let's take a look at these comments, because this is where all the drama is happening. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not just going to tell you. This is the girl who posted it, Sharita Janelle. I remove the men who want kids. I do have, nor do I want, I guess I don't have, nor do I want children. I'm also happily divorced. So that's another thing. You had a crack at this in the over 40 crowd. Interesting. You got some people that are just laughing. The man she's looking for, single, nearly 40, straight, gainfully employed, emotionally available, healed from past relationships, a man who wants to be in a relationship, not narcissistic, manipulative, attractive, over 5'8", aka average height, non-smoker, and wants kids. The fact that some of you men see this as her standards are too high. Sir, go to therapy, because this should be the basic standard that even you should want to meet. Sigh, some of you are truly content with being below mediocre, and it's wild. This is where the disassociation happens. This is where they don't understand exactly what she explained there. This is where she doesn't understand how dire the circumstances are. She's just broken down everything that she said, and she doesn't realize that puts her into a 1 to 5% category of men out here. Put the married ones back. They dating everybody. How about that? A lot of y'all women out there dating married men, not accounting for that. And that might be a possibility. At some point, women might have to consider the idea of sharing who they want. Don't forget the ones that doesn't like black women. Okay. All right. Well, she just has an excuse for everything. As a teacher, I will give you an A+ for your explanation. But how much are you going to give her for her actual application of the skills learned in the classroom? You forgot about men with addictions: porn, work, drugs, alcohol, sports. Addicted to sports, really? Men commenting on this, showing us that we're just better off single. Ooh, that old canard. You're just better off single. When obviously we were meant to pair. We were meant to be in groups. And for some reason, they'd rather, instead of listening to logic and listening to reason that men have been saying for years now, they'd rather just go off and do the same thing. That's what I saw when Kevin Samuels came on the scene. Like, Kevin Samuels was, I thought, trying to reason with these ladies. And for some reason, they bit the hand that was feeding them. They cast them to the side and did exact opposite. And now we're right back here in the same position again. You forgot the ones to remove the percentage of the ones in prison. Ladies, stay single. It's peaceful. My aunt didn't find her true love until her 70s. He's in his 90s. Lord, please don't let it be that long for me. And that's another thing. You got women out here in their 40s that are still looking in the dating pool to find somebody their age or maybe even a little younger. Now, you might get the whole cougar relationship, but you might have to compromise and get an older guy. Maybe someone that's been divorced like you, perhaps. Wouldn't that make sense? No, they need a fresh guy. A lot of them have that as a standard in their book. They're like, I don't want any dude that's been returned. Married, want to date more than single people. I'm so tired of hearing I'm separated, but we live together. The broke pile and the emotionally unavailable pile need to be a lot bigger. I think you need to grab some more walnuts for the emotionally unavailable one, sis. That was a low estimate. Not 1 ounce of self-reflection. The men are just having a field day in these comments, and they're just like, man, preach. You missed the point, only to point a finger. Hurt your feelings. It's getting rough. This is a great point this guy brings up. I think my biggest issue is the men not in your area. That's a sign of laziness. You won't hesitate to brag about you going on vacay and showing all the pics, but the possible love of your life that lives 100, 200 miles away, that's a no because it's not convenient. You need them around you all the time, but yet you have no one around as an alternative. I'll never get that. I travel to build wealth. I'll be damned if I won't for possible love connection. They don't hear you. They don't want to work. They want it to fall right in their lap. They want Mr. Right to come knock on their door and say, hey, I'm here now. You ready for the rest of your life? They're making no effort for the most part. This is why the soft guy era was brilliant. It turns it on its head and realize that there are women that actually do those things, that actually want to be competitive in the dating market, you know? And especially if you're in this very small pile of walnuts, you should be able to write your ticket. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to really just, pick what you want. They don't want to give us that. What happened to you in your 20s and 30s then? How did you get to 40 to start making this analysis? Just an innocent question. Let's be honest, ladies. Most women 40 and up have already met their would-be husbands around the age of 20 to 28 years old. But you passed them over for a myriad of stupid reasons, and now here we are. Any questions? Oh, they let them have it after it's thought-provoking. The issue could be that many men are not interested in women with good morals and principles. And it goes on and on and on. If you want to take a look, go check out her Instagram for Sharita Janelle. Thought-provoking discussion. Let's see. She did a follow-up to this. She did a reaction to it because, of course, there's a lot of fire that was coming back at her. So she wanted to make sure she said some more. Let's hear what she had to say.
So I think I need to clarify something from my last video. The pile that I separated were the men who wanted children. I do not want children. I do not have children. However, I was called out a lot saying that why would anyone over 40 want children? Also, I was called out for apparently, why am I dating over 40? Why didn't I look for someone sooner? I am happily divorced. But either way, let's stop with the calling of people out. There were a lot of men triggered in this post and some women who apparently think that dating people who are emotionally unavailable, who are hung up on their ex and don't know what they want are acceptable. I was told that my standards are too high. I'm too picky. Like, come on, people. I didn't call out anything other than my preference for dating someone taller because I'm 5'10". I did not call out anything that was, to me, acceptable in something that you should be looking for in a partner. So I need to know, where was I wrong? Let me know.
See previous video. No, it still seems like she doesn't understand that limited pile, just because you have those requirements. Like, you don't have to, even if you're 5'10", you don't have to date a guy that's like as tall as you, or, like there's women that are 5'10" that won't date a guy that's 5'9". Right? It's just like, oh, it's the idea. I got to date a guy that's 6'5", 6'3". I heard some women talk about only dating dudes that are 6'3", when you don't realize that's 0.5, I believe, 0.5% of the population is above 6'3". It's crazy, but this is it. This is what we have before us. And We have to make some decisions here, ladies. Just because you've done the math and you've done the calculations and you've decided that that population of men that you are deeming acceptable is very small, it doesn't mean that men are supposed to adjust some kind of way because of it. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. This is Faucette Media.